Good afternoon, all. I hope you guys are doing really well. Please take care of yourself and your families. My name is Vikrant, and for the last 5 years, I have been spending my time working with entrepreneurs, working with startup CEOs, talking about ideas, and picking up the good and the bad, the right way, the wrong way to make a startup successful. And all these years, you try to figure out what is that one step that you need to take, what is that one step you need to avoid to make sure your startup gets successful. And then one fine day you get to meet this amazing person who has got around 3 times more experience than you, and then he talks to you, and then he tells you the right way, and that's how the decision changes, and that is what experience can do to you. I got this opportunity to meet this amazing person. I would like to call him my senior in the startup community. He is someone whom I admire a lot, and someone who has been dabbling his experiences into amazing startups, amazing ventures. And when I talk about startups, I really talk about startups that went on to become unicorns. One of them being the Oyo Rooms. So we decided to bring this amazing human for a really uncanny conversation and can he talk with us. So my guest today is someone who has not just experience in working with a lot of these startups, but someone who has amazing opinions about how startups form and how startups are successful. A really dear friend, I would say, Mr. Arpit Chundavat. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the very humble introduction, Vikrant. Please go on.
Yeah. So although I have known you and I have spent time and I've had conversations with you, I know you, but I would really like you to please give a little brief introduction about you to our viewers today.
Sure. So, for the last couple of years, I've been running a co-venture in Bali called Dragoon Yacht. It's basically South Asia's largest floating venue. We moved on to a marketplace model post-COVID since last year. Prior to this, I was with Oyo Rooms. I was heading the leisure business at Oyo Rooms, and I've recently started a venture called Meteor Venture, which is a startup incubator. So we've also invested into Easy Schooling and reviewing few other startups as well. So that's been my journey so far. So I've moved from being an employee to running my own venture, and now slowly getting into investing as an angel investor.
Okay, that's amazing. So, sir, when we look behind all of these amazing startups that went on to become unicorns, like if I take example of Oyo Rooms or if I take example of Dragoon Yacht, and if I try to understand the basic process, and when we go back, we take those amazing basic principles, we go back to understand them, we figure out that it's all about a simple idea that we work hard to make them into unicorns. It's all about that one simple idea. But these days, when every other day a person wakes up and he or she thinks that this idea could be the next big thing, or it could be the next
Right.
unicorn startup of India, we don't see that
Right.
happening more often. I think there has to be a process that is being involved when you think of an idea for a startup. Like you wake up one day, you get an idea, you think that this could be a problem that I can solve. So I'm sure there has to be approach, there has to be a process of taking that idea. What according to you is that process, that opinion of?
I believe, starting your own startup, there's a very thin line between wishful thinking and actually knowing that this is your passion that you need to follow. I think there's a very thin line between these two things. Usually, what happens in this day and age, right, with all the youngsters sort of passing out of college, or someone who's worked in corporates and wants to be has been an entrepreneur or wants to turn into an entrepreneur, it's important to be aware what problem are you solving, and most importantly, you have to be passionate about it, because the idea is not about solving the problem. The idea is people after a certain point of time they lose interest. So unless you're passionate about something, it will not pan out, right? So I think you need to be aware of what is the problem that you're solving. A, right? What kind of larger impact is it having? More than thinking about 1 year down the line, really thinking about 2 to 3 years down the line. What kind of company do you want to create, right? And taking steps based on that, and at the same time being very pragmatic, because that's I'm saying it again as, and I'm actually gone through this myself. Wishful thinking sort of turns you into not really answering the tough questions, and just feeling that things will pan out, when actually it's the other way around, right? So it's very important to be aware of that.
Okay, that's I think that's really amazing when we talk about wishful thinking. As an entrepreneur, all of us at some stage of life we actually go through this when we think that this is how it is supposed to happen, but it doesn't turn out to be that way. But these days,
Exactly.
as the other day, as I was reading that India happens to be the second biggest startup ecosystem in the world, and we often talk about startups starting every day. In the recent times, I have seen that a lot of startups, lot of these young gentlemen and gentlewomen, they just come up with an idea and they think that this is amazing. So, what advice or what tip would you like to give someone who is a first-time CEO, or someone who is a young CEO, or someone who is a young entrepreneur starting, just
Right.
passed out of college and have a degree? Even though we have, of course, read that degree is not something that is very important, and we see examples of these amazing successful CEOs, successful entrepreneurs, but still, I think there has to be a tip, according to you, which I think which I think you would like to give to these young entrepreneurs or young CEOs who are just starting out.
Right. So I think more than a tip, it really depends on the individual. For example, I think someone who is a young entrepreneur and who is solving a problem, has been running his business for the last 6 months, is slowly turning into cash positive. Right. I think it's important that the individual is aware of data points. Right. He is taking his decisions completely based on data. Right. And as people say, data is God. Unless you are seeing a change in the kind of new customers that you're acquiring, right, and the kind of impact that you're having on your revenues, I think it's important to have those data points in base, right. So I would say, having graphs and making PPTs, it's fine for investors, right? It's fine to woo the investors with, but I think as the basic model for any sort of upcoming CEO should be that he should be aware of the data points that he has on his pedestal and on which he's going to sort of make future decisions based on that, right? So may it also have to do with pivotal points for the business. So, for example, something in the edtech space, right? I mean, I think a multi-utility platform for making contactless admissions is a big area, especially post-COVID now, that people are sort of jumping into and sort of considering how to solve this problem, because nowhere in India has anyone really solved this problem yet. And that's exactly what Easy Schooling, one of our startups, is actually doing right now, right? So it is not only a admission portal. To really think about it in the longest run, it's a life cycle of the student and the parent from the time they enroll into a specific standard in a school to the point where they're graduating, right? So there are multiple different points, and these are the data points that entrepreneurs should be aware of to know exactly when to pitch in a different product, right? So your product portfolio is really not dependent only on admissions. Then it can be dependent on kid learning toys which are there, or could be different classes, online classes, right? So the different data set points which can be incorporated. So I think that's extremely important for upcoming entrepreneurs.
Right. So when we talk about taking decisions based on data, and every other day we often see these all these little tips, and with experience we also gain certain tips. But also when we read about these startups and when we read about these data and everyday news, we also get to see a lot of startups failing on a very high rate. Like for example,
Right.
if we talk about COVID, we actually saw the failure rate going really high. Lots and lots of, like the counts were in millions of the startups that actually failed, that actually crashed. So why do you think, like, despite having so many ideas, despite having so many tips from all these successful entrepreneurs, from all these successful venture capitalists, even though we invite those ideas, why do you think are those little what do you think are those little loopholes that often take a startup to failure? Why do you think
I
these
feel,
startups fail?
so to be honest with you, like even when I was crossing, I was moving from college, going into the professional world. Even back then, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? But honestly speaking, just wanting to be an entrepreneur is sometimes not enough, because you really need to gain the experience from all different parameters, right? The legal side of it, exactly how do you establish a company. There are accounts, there are tons of different loopholes which really we don't learn about in our schooling or in our education as such. Right? So it is important to find mentors. I think it's very important that you find either an incubation center or you find and interact with as many different incubators which are there. Right? I mean, it's extremely important. I feel. And I think once that is done, once you meet different kind of incubators, you learn different process in terms of not only how do you establish a company, right? But you can also outsource a lot of this. In this day and age, right, you can outsource a lot of the headaches usually the entrepreneurs have to take on themselves. They can concentrate on the business. They can concentrate on the business goals which are there, which is basically acquire new customers and increase their sales, right? I think that's very clear. And making sure that they're giving a fantastic product experience to their customers. So I feel finding incubation centers or startup accelerator programs. There are multiple ones online. You can find multiple different places. Figure out those 2 or 3 mentors that can actually have face-to-face, call with you every now and then. So you know that you're coming back. If you're going off track, they can help you come back on track. Right? So I think these are very basic ideas that I feel that needs to be incorporated by upcoming entrepreneurs. But honestly speaking, as I said before, right, besides wishful thinking, it's very important to be aware of